Welcome back everyone to Missions 103, where today I am going to begin looking into missions at the level cap, and that means taking a look into delvings. But before I look into delvings, I want to look at a baseline to see how I run with this warden at level cap without any delvings at all. Then in the next episode we can look into working with delvings. I am here in Herne, and the first thing to note is that they rearranged how the missions are given out. There used to be several different locations where you pick up all the missions. Now there are only 3 locations for doing missions. One is in Clager, one is here at Herne, and one is in Andrath. All of the Swanfleet ones are now consolidated into Clager, and all the ones in Cardolan are now here at Herne or at Andrath. Now, what they also did is they also changed the rotation to it. There are still 3 groups of missions, but instead of being 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 as the days progress, there's now a 9-day cycle with a rather complicated weave of the 3, so that none of them are 2 days in a row for the same one on the cycle, but it's not a case of where you would always have the same. If you took 3 random days, it won't always be in the same order. And the reason for that is because there are 6 different ways in which delvings are laid out, and because there are 6 of them, they didn't want a number that was divisible by 6 in there, so they had to complicate the pattern up a little bit so that you wouldn't always have the same types of delvings with the same missions. Now, let's go and have a little chat here with Hethriel and see what he has for us on this day. Well, it looks like we'll start out with the Ruins of Gaervarad.
Mind my words, traveller.
Brigands have overrun the Ruins of Gaervarad. We must defeat them. Well, that's a straightforward enough mission, right? And I think that would be one of the good baselines to have, is one that is nice and straightforward. Here we are at the entrance to Gaervarad, and here we have the delving stone that you interact with if you want to activate one of the delvings. There are 12 tiers now, unlike 10 in the original release, and they're in 3 bands, or I should say 4 bands of 3. So 3 that use zircons, 3 that use garnets, 3 that use the emeralds, and 3 that use amethysts. Now I think I do have a zircon in here somewhere. I haven't really done much in delvings yet. I mean, that's the entire point of the series, right? Is to start to get into them. But somewhere in here I have a zircon that I'm supposed to be putting into there and activating that. But that's for the next episode. Right now I want a baseline, and if you want a baseline, first start with a nice simple delving, and that is just deal with some brigands. And the complications are going to come when we attempt to actually do something past these. Now we're going to kill 15 brigands here. So that's a nice, easy, straightforward quest. Actually, I think there are 1 or 2 that sometimes are difficult to find. I'm surprised I didn't activate the archer there. Well, I'll give her some pointed remarks anyway. And let's see. Oh yes, aha. So there are a couple of them that do wander about, such as that archer. Anything else down that way? Not at the moment. So let's handle what we've got here. Good. Now, I figure that we'll be able to get a real nice idea of how the delvings operate, but with this a little nice, easy, straightforward mission. And I'll also take another one that maybe have a little bit more complexity to it. But I think this would be good for the main baseline, and then the other one to show how it interacts with the more complex mission. And so now, what do we want over on here? More archers. They seem to be very much into pairs here. Occasionally, maybe getting 3. Now, hopefully, I remember that as we go into the ones with delvings, and maybe I'll notice extra enemies or something like that coming about if I suddenly start seeing 3 or 4 at a time. And of course, there's always the whole thing about summoning friends and the like. Let's see, that's outside of the area, so we don't care about brigands that are outside of the area because those are level 23s, and even if I hit them, they won't count for the mission, obviously. Actually, is there anything going down this way? No. Alright, let's head on upstairs. Where we need to... Hey, you! Oopsie daisy! That wasn't right. Okay, maybe I should have waited there. Actually, this brings the number down to 13. Good. Now, the other thing that's a little bit of on the complication side is I'm still trying to learn the new Warden, because they did make some significant changes to the class. Like, we no longer have critical strike, so why am I running up rapidly to get right next to him to do critical strike? Well, it would make sense if I were going against things like archers and defilers so that I could bash them before they do much more. Now, I always have a way of missing just one of them. That would probably be downstairs somewhere. Ah, there we are, right down this way. I see the red dot. I presume this is a real red dot. Yeah, that's a real red dot. Ah, maybe even out of here. I think that's why I always miss that one, is because she is outside. And I go inside right away. So we have this archer right outside that I'm always missing. Because I'm deep inside and looking for everybody's inside. Alright, there we go. Now we have a scout coming up. Ah! Right here. Just as well I came out this way, right? Well done! You have defeated the brigands! Ah! Thank you, Captain Obvious. I've dealt with the brigands.
What do you need?
You have done well, Pine Leaf. As agreed, you are deserving of payment, and take this and know that you are grateful for all that you have done. You're welcome, and a few more great blood marks there. And that's the first of the 2 missions I'll be doing today. Now let's see about the second of these missions. And that will be Leadership Direction.
Mind my words, traveler.
Fortune smiles upon us, Pine Leaf. A recent attack by the Uruks has cost them dearly, as one of their leaders has reported to take an arrow to the knee. With an injury like that, they are sure never to adventure again. Now is our chance to strike. Head back into the camp, find the leader, and finish the work that's already been begun. Alright, so he won't be able to adventure again because he took an arrow to the knee. Are you sure you're in the right franchise? Alright, well, let's see what we've got here. We must take advantage, and we must take it now. Please make haste, Pineleaf. If we can cleave the head of the forces of the Uruks, surely we will drive them out of these lands. You are really optimistic, aren't you? This mission is in Celebran, which means that there's a much wider area in which we could get lost. And we need to defeat the injured White Hand War Leader. We need to defeat 7 melee Urukai and also 7 ranged Urukai. And here is the Delving Stone, which we will ignore in this episode because we are here to set a baseline. And this one's a little bit more complicated because we've got the leadership also to deal with in addition to the Urukai that we need to kill. And also, in this boss fight, I believe, has some summoning that is done by the leader. And I think they toned that down a little bit in the last update, but that's something that we need to take into account as we do this. It looks like our mobs did spawn in. Good. I mean, it's not good that they're here. It's good for the sake of it's hard to complete the mission without some of these soldiers in here. And I guess these soldiers are the melee type. There you go. Alright, this looks like it's going to be a real tough time from the point of view of lag, maybe. There we go. That's one down. And we got black arrows. I'll assume then that those are the ranged. I mean, when you have arrow in your name, you better be an archer. That and that there's a great deal of precedence in this game of referring to enemy archers, especially Uruks, as black arrows, so we'll take care of that. There you go. Pop, 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 and you are down. There you go. Next. Yeah, I think I'll just go all over the camp, see how many of them I can kill. Because it looks like they're scattered all over the place, which means that a systematic way of searching for them is probably not going to bear much fruit than the fact that I'll probably get completely lost if I attempted a systematic search. Now, maybe if I knew this place by heart or anything like that, I might be able to do it, but hold on. There's someone shooting arrows into my backside. Oh, there you are. Oh, you're both archers. Oh, ha ha, you tricked me. Well, at least I'll get my quota on ranged opponents done. Alright, and a few more down this way. I mean, there's some quests where finding the ranged opponents is the tough one, but it looks like there's absolutely no trouble in doing that here. Ah, here's a soldier. Now I can at least try to catch up on that score. Goodbye. Now where did... Oh, there we go. I thought I saw an Uruk around here somewhere. Ooh, ooh. Yeah, you got the idea. Now, how about you? Let's see. I need to find soldiers more than anything. I'm wondering, are there more Uruks than I need to kill in this place? Or is it aha, I thought I saw an arrow sticking in my side. It's hard to miss an arrow that's sticking in your side. And besides, we've got to be careful. We don't want one of them shooting an arrow into my knee. I mean, if they're saying that it'll end your adventuring days if that happened, then obviously you don't want to have... And this is obviously a supernumerary black arrow, so that answers my question on whether or not it's exact. It's obviously not. So you might be able to skip one or two of them. Though, since it'll probably take me some time to find the leader. Let's see. Leader anywhere around here? Nope. It's easy to get turned around this place. Alright, now. We are in the southern section. Actually, I was saying earlier that doing a systematic search isn't going to bear any fruit. Well, maybe it would if you had some idea what the ruins looked like. And I always forget, especially the ruined version of Caris. Okay, now we're on the east side right now. Nothing around here. Nothing around here. Maybe by the time the series is over, I'll finally figure it out, considering that if I'm going to be doing this, well, optimistically 13 times, but I'm pretty sure that I will come to a point where I'm saying, I'm sorry, I've reached my limits on delvings. Before then that's another matter. Because I'm certainly not one of those people that's likely to be able to do level, or tier 10 I guess I should say, delvings. Now I need one more soldier. Well, there's a soldier right over. Hold on. No, don't you dare do that. Oh. No wonder I was on that one. I was wondering why I thought I was on a soldier, because I was. There you go. Now I've got all the Uruks I need, except the leader. Now the question is, where is the leader? Oh no, leader is here. Let's see. Matumbak is in here. Oh, of course, he's giving the inspiration to everybody. I guess I should have figured that out. Alright, so he has an inspiring force. He has 2 people protecting him. I guess that makes sense. And there's a minus 5% incoming melee damage. Alright, not too bad. Now, it could be, though, that if you have delvings active, that may increase. It's an interesting question. Okay, so I got everyone there. Now, was he always there, or did he only pop up when I finished that last one? Now, there is the question of whether you go after the boss first. Get rid of that. Okay, and assign. Oh, that's right. He turns green and then he summons friends. I was wondering how that worked. I was trying to remember how this worked because it's been a while since I've done this. I just remember that he does occasionally do that. So, I guess that might be the wound that he has from the arrow to the knee. Okay, there you go. Now, can I kill him again? No, there are more. What? There's more? Yeah, there. Hey! Stop trying to put an arrow on my knee! Actually, the way he's holding his shoulder like that, well, that might be a new injury there. Are you sure he has an arrow in the knee? I mean, knee injuries that I could think of is... Ouch. Oh, he's back to full health. Actually, in The Lord of the Rings, the knee injury that I could think that is most well known is the knee injury that the Nazgul takes when a knife is driven in his skin from Pippin. No, Merry. Sorry. Merry drives the knife in his mighty knee, and thus distracts him enough so that completed Uruk's Slayer of Swanfleet, so that Eowyn could. Okay, this time you're down. Alright. Huh. Well. That was tougher than expected. Our scouts could not have been wrong. No, the Uruk was injured. What fell magic restored it after it was so grievously wounded? Come, let us return with this news. Well, at least it won't recover from this new injury. So, I hope those scouts weren't playing an April Fool's joke on us.
Megovanen.
How is it possible that our scouts were wrong? The enemy should have been near death. I wonder if there's something nefarious seeping into the scouting ranks. We will need to look into this. Oh, yes. well, we won't be able to look into what's going on with the scouting ranks, but we will look into how these two missions operate when we actually introduce delving. So in our next episode, we are going to go into a Tier 1 delving using these two missions when we return to Missions 103.